The Power of Gold, The History of an Obsession by Peter Bernstein. This is a book summary. Have you ever wondered why we crave gold so much? Why a metal that's practically useless for most practical purposes has driven men to sail uncharted seas, spark wars, and even worship idols? Is it the allure of its eternal shine, or something deeper, perhaps a promise of immortality or power? Picture this: a man on a sinking ship, clutching a bag full of gold coins. As the ship descends into the abyss, he leaps overboard, the weight of the gold dragging him swiftly to the ocean floor. British critic John Ruskin once asked, as he was sinking, had he the gold, or had the gold him? This haunting question is the essence of Peter L. Bernstein's The Power of Gold, The History of an Obsession, a book that unravels humanity's paradoxical love affair with this gleaming metal. From the gilded tombs of ancient Egypt to the towering vaults of Fort Knox, gold's story is one of greed, power, and divine allure. For centuries, it has been the ultimate symbol of wealth and authority, decorating the crowns of kings and filling the coffers of empires. It was Jehovah's command to Moses on Mount Sinai: "Thou shalt overlay it with pure gold." Even God, it seems, understood the power of gold's hypnotic shine. But here's the twist: despite its beauty, gold is essentially useless. You can't build bridges with it or forge weapons. It's too soft for tools and too heavy for convenience. And yet, nations have slaughtered each other for it. Explorers have crossed oceans in its name, and men have betrayed brothers for a single coin. Gold's value is a fiction we've all agreed to believe, a glittering lie that has shaped the destiny of humanity. The irony is, the more we chase it, the more it consumes us. In one chapter, Bernstein tells the story of King Midas, who wished for the golden touch, only to realize too late that it was a curse. His food turned to gold, his beloved daughter to a lifeless statue. In that moment, Midas didn't possess gold, gold possessed him. But this obsession isn't just about wealth. For the Incas, gold was the sweat of the sun, a sacred element that linked them to the divine. For the Spanish conquistadors, it was a ticket to heaven and a reason for conquest. As Christopher Columbus once exclaimed, "Who has gold has a treasure that even helps souls to paradise." Today we're diving into this glittering history, unveiling the myth, the madness, and the power that gold has wielded over humanity for millennia. Our story begins in ancient Egypt, where gold wasn't just a metal, it was divine. The pharaohs, seen as gods on earth, covered everything in gold, from temples to their own burial masks. Even the furniture and fixtures of their sacred spaces were adorned in this glittering metal by Jehovah's command: "Thou shalt overlay it with pure gold." In the blistering sun, these golden monuments shone like beacons of eternity, proclaiming the pharaoh's divine right to rule. But here's the irony: despite its heavenly allure, gold has no real practical use. You can't build bridges with it like steel, and it's too soft for tools. The Egyptians, however, were mesmerized by its eternal glow, believing it to be the flesh of the gods themselves. They sent armies into Nubia to hold back this divine metal, driving slaves into the suffocating darkness of mines, where death came as swiftly as greed. Diodorus, an ancient historian, described the horror of these mines. Slaves worked until they collapsed, suffocated by arsenic fumes and crushed by collapsing tunnels. The pursuit of gold demanded a human sacrifice, turning deserts into graveyards. And yet its beauty was enough to make entire civilizations bend the knee. Gold became the ultimate power play, a way for the pharaohs to project immortality. When King Tutankhamun's tomb was uncovered, the sight of his golden mask was a stark reminder. Gold could make even a corpse look divine. Fast forward to Rome, where the obsession with gold took a different form. Here, gold became money, true power you could hold in your hand. Emperors stamped their faces on coins to spread their dominance far and wide. Julius Caesar's likeness, pressed into shimmering ore, moved from hand to hand across the empire. Each coin a tiny declaration of absolute authority. But this is where the curse of gold started to show. As the Roman Empire expanded, so did its thirst for gold. Conquests were launched, not just for territory, but to fill the imperial coffers. Gold bought loyalty, paid armies, and built monuments. Yet, with each victory, the hunger for gold only grew. The more gold Rome accumulated, the more corrupt and unstable it became, like an addict whose tolerance keeps rising. By the 3rd century, the insatiable demand for gold drove Rome to debase its currency, stretching each coin with cheaper metals to fund endless wars. Inflation spiraled, trade crumbled, and faith in the currency collapsed. Romans began to hoard gold, burying coins in fields, trusting the metal itself more than the empire that minted it. In the end, gold didn't save Rome, it helped destroy it. As Peter L. Bernstein notes, the curse of gold is that the more seriously we take it, the more it controls us. And so, from the golden temples of Egypt to the crumbling streets of Rome, the story of gold is one of paradox, a metal that glows like the sun but casts a shadow just as dark. In medieval Europe, gold was locked away in church vaults, covered in religious symbols, each piece a testament to divine authority. The church, draped in golden relics and chalices, preached humility while hoarding enough gold to rival kingdoms. Cathedrals glittered with mosaics of saints framed in gold leaf, their eyes cast heavenward as if to suggest that even salvation had a price. Gold was not just a symbol of God's glory but a tool of control, a way to command faith through sheer radiance. But it was also the prize of brutal conquests and endless wars. Kings, desperate to finance their armies, borrowed heavily, promising gold they didn't have, leading to economic chaos. As Bernstein recounts, English kings pawned their crowns to Venetian bankers, and French monarchs melted down church bells to mint coins, the toll of war ringing out even in times of peace. Entire kingdoms found themselves hopelessly addicted, like gamblers doubling down on a losing hand, betting on gold to save them, only to dig themselves deeper into ruin. Even the mighty crusades were as much about gold as about God. Crusaders set out to reclaim the Holy Land, but found themselves looting Byzantine treasures instead. Gold icons and jeweled crosses torn from altars, melted down to pay debts and fund further wars. In one infamous episode, the Fourth Crusade never even reached Jerusalem. Instead, the knights sacked Constantinople, stripping its churches of gold and leaving the city in flames. Gold, once a symbol of faith, had become an idol of greed. Then came the age of exploration. When Columbus spotted those glittering trinkets in the New World, he wasn't just seeing wealth, he was seeing paradise itself. His logs reveal an almost feverish obsession. "Gold is most excellent," he wrote. "He who has gold makes and accomplishes whatever he wishes in the world." For Columbus and those who followed, gold wasn't just metal, it was destiny. The Spanish conquistadors, drunk on dreams of golden cities, slaughtered entire civilizations for it. Hernán Cortés, burning his ships on the shores of Mexico, told his men, "We Spaniards know a sickness of the heart that only gold can cure." The Aztec emperor Moctezuma, thinking gold might appease these strange gods from the sea, showered them with treasures. But the more gold Cortés received, the more his hunger grew. The gold of the Aztecs was melted into ingots, stamped with the Spanish crown, and shipped back to Europe, each bar a fragment of a fallen empire. The story was the same in Peru, where Francisco Pizarro betrayed and executed the Inca emperor Atahualpa, despite receiving a room filled to the ceiling with gold as ransom. The gold of the Inca temples, once hammered into plates and statues of their sun god, was stripped away and transformed into coins and crosses, tools of conquest and conversion. By the time the conquistadors were done, entire civilizations lay in ruins, their gods dethroned and their palaces ransacked. Gold was supposed to bring salvation, but it only brought destruction. Spanish galleons, heavy with the stolen wealth of the Americas, sailed back to Europe, only to sink under storms or fall prey to English pirates, the sea itself seeming to reject the cursed cargo. Those that made it through triggered a century of hyperinflation, bankrupting Spain and turning its empire into a hollow shell. As Bernstein explains, gold's ultimate irony is that the more we have of it, the less it's worth. In the end, the New World's gold didn't build a new Eden, it became a mirror, reflecting the darkness of those who pursued it. Even today, the obsession continues. Deep beneath the hills of Kentucky, Fort Knox holds billions in gold bars, stacks of gleaming bricks guarded by razor wire, soldiers, and vaults that could withstand a nuclear blast. Yet, not a single one of those bars will ever buy a loaf of bread or pay a single debt. They sit in silence, a fortress of illusions. Across the globe, central banks hoard gold by the ton, stockpiling it as if a vault full of metal could somehow shield them from economic storms. It's a ritual of faith more than finance, a hedge against the fear that one day the world might wake up and find that paper money is worthless. But here's the kicker. Gold's real value isn't in what it can do, but in what we believe it represents: security, power, immortality. As Peter Bernstein puts it, it's not that we have gold, but that gold has us. Like the ancient Egyptians who saw it as the flesh of the gods, or the Spanish conquistadors who saw it as a passport to heaven, we too are captives of the myth. Even in our digital age, where wealth is measured in bytes and blips on a screen, the mere whisper of a gold-backed currency can send markets into a frenzy. Gold, with its eternal glow, has survived the rise and fall of empires, revolutions, world wars, and stock market crashes, each time emerging untarnished, as if to mock our attempts to move beyond it. So, what's the real power of gold? It's a mirror that reflects our deepest fears and desires. It promises safety but delivers chaos. In 1971, when President Nixon slammed shut the gold window, detaching the dollar from gold, he called it a temporary measure. But behind that decision was a deeper fear, that the flood of dollars leaving the United States might drain Fort Knox dry, revealing to the world that even America's wealth was a house of cards. Since then, money has been backed by nothing but faith. Faith that a dollar is worth a dollar. Faith that the system will hold. And yet, the gold bars still sit there, a silent reminder that faith can be fragile. Gold is a symbol of immortality that, ironically, leads us straight to ruin. Just ask King Midas, who wished for the golden touch only to turn his food and his beloved daughter into lifeless statues. Or Croesus, the king of Lydia, whose vaults overflowed with gold but who misread the oracle's warning and lost everything. Gold's true power lies not in its weight, but in its story. The myths we build and the lives we sacrifice in its name. As Bernstein writes, gold is a mass of contradictions, a symbol of eternal life that has sent countless souls to their deaths, a store of value that has bankrupted nations, a measure of wealth that has left generations impoverished. And maybe that's the cruelest irony of all, that a metal so soft it can be dented with a fingernail has hardened the hearts of men for thousands of years. Like Ruskin's doomed traveler, clutching his bag of coins as he sank into the sea, we too are drowning, dragged down by the weight of our illusions. So, is gold really worth it, or are we just fooling ourselves? Is it the ultimate refuge in a world of chaos, or just another idol, glittering on a pedestal of lies? If you enjoyed this dive into history's most dangerous obsession, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let us know in the comments, is gold really worth it, or have we spent centuries chasing a golden dream that was never real to begin with?